Well, the hits keep coming from that bombshell of an indictment last week as the 7 Baltimore police officers' cases begin to wind their way through federal court. They leave quite the troubling wake in state court. ABC 2 News investigative reporter Brian Kubler joins us right now with the legal fallout of last week's scandal. Brian?
Yeah, Jeremy, most of these officers were part of an elite task force, one that made a lot of gun arrests and developed a significant amount of cases. Cases now falling apart at the bench.
Okay.
Albert Brown's case, in part captured on this body-worn camera, was just one of the first cases to be dropped in relation to the indicted 7, but it will by far not be the last. Today, the state's attorney's office announced 7 more cases developed by one or more of the indicted officers has been dismissed, but even that may be the tip of the iceberg. In the next 2 months alone, nearly 40 of these officers' cases are either scheduled for a trial or a hearing. While it is unclear what the specific criteria is in order for the state's attorney to dismiss one of these cases, it is not just the future court dates at issue. The Office of the Public Defender is focused on past cases as well.
All of the cases that they were involved in are now going to have to be looked at again, and identifying those cases is going to be a challenge in and of itself. So we're asking for people to contact us if they have one of those cases.
To that end, the Office of the Public Defender has set up a hotline for those convicted or fighting cases developed by these officers. It will be a challenge to identify all the cases, the office says, but allowing past convictions to stand would be an injustice.
There are thousands of cases that each of these officers was involved in. And so there are a tremendous number that will need to be reviewed.
Including those handled by private attorneys. One defense attorney telling us today to expect a wave of motions reopening old convictions and plea deals, citing not just the officer's conduct, but what the state's attorney's office knew and when it knew it. Still, the tentacles of this scandal reach even further. While the Baltimore Police Department announced 46 officers will move from plainclothes units back to patrol, an organizational fallout from the indictments, the mayor is also continuing to push an audit of the entire department with a focus on overtime waste.
We sent some police officers back to the patrol, which is very much needed, as you well know. I think I announced last week that we're doing an audit. We've moved the police department's audit up, but we got to get a handle on this overtime. $1.6 million every other week is just not tolerable.
Now, that hotline for the Public Defender's Office is 410-914-7858. They tell us tonight, just 24 hours after they set it up, the office has already received more than 100 calls. You can also fill out an online form as well. We've linked you to that option on our website at abc2news.com.